What's going on, everybody? I'm Stubbs, that's Damien, and this is RH Weekly, your number one source for retro gaming handheld news. Okay, and in today's number one thing, we have new handheld reveals. All right, look at this, Damien. What the heck? What is this? TrimUI is making an Odin? What is?
Well, it's definitely not going to be an Odin. That's for sure. All right.
I mean, it looks like my white Odin Pro.
A little bit. You'll notice though,
what?
It's a render to be fair. So
Sure.
grain of salt on literally all of this because all we have is a name.
We don't know anything.
And a render,
but
and
it is,
I think a screen size. But
this is a confirmed thing as far as
yes.
I've heard.
Yes.
Okay.
However, you'll notice that assuming this render is accurate, there's no active cooling, so probably not Odin, like capacity. I'm thinking TG816, maybe
Really?
a Dimensity 900, maybe
T618 or a D900, huh?
I'd imagine it's a 618. Like with all that going around, that's probably what they're targeting.
Well,
I mean, it could be some boutique chip. I don't know. I mean, it's just I'm trying to think of how powerful we can get without needing active cooling, and those are popular chips right now.
I mean, look at the side here. So I would say that is about as thick as Retroid Pocket 3, maybe. As far as I can tell, look at it as stacked shoulders. Thor's gonna like that. You have what looks like bigger analog sticks for the size of the shell.
Oh, bigger. They might be switch size. They're hideous though. Like the black over all the white and gray. Like everything is great, and then all of a sudden
there's
just got
LED
these two
lights,
big,
though.
like
there's LED lights.
Offensive dots on it.
What's wrong with the dots? I mean,
look at the gray and white. Looks great together, and then just two big black circles of like ugh.
So you want the joysticks to be maybe white or maybe gray?
Yes.
To match the aesthetic. I'm okay with these joysticks. This reminds me of a Vita 1000 because those, I believe they did have black sticks and then the white shell, right?
Yeah. I mean, if it had black buttons,
it's a panda
maybe
theme.
It's just
it's a panda theme.
But then they have black buttons. I mean, it's a render, right? So this could all be about nothing. But like, it just screams to me, oh, we got a deal on this one.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Hey, we'll come back to this. You have a good Christmas, by the way. How was your Christmas?
Yeah, it was fun. Got to spend some time with the family. How about you?
Yeah, me too, man.
Did you get any retro handheld related gifts?
Did I receive any?
Yeah.
Well, see, nobody gets me that stuff because they know that I just buy myself my own toys that I want. And so when it comes to Christmas time, I get socks, I get clothes, and I get really excited for that stuff. More about this new TrimUI Smart. So this thing looks awesome. If it's the same buttons as the TrimUI Smart, this is called the TrimUI Smart Pro. Those buttons are going to be serviceable. They're going to be dome switch style, so they're going to be clicky. Yeah. But the Smart's buttons, I mean, the face buttons feel good. They clicked well. The D-pad as well, I believe, was a dome membrane. Not a membrane, but a dome. And nice and clicky. And it's serviceable. If those shoulder buttons, L2 and R2, are clicky as well, I mean, this might scratch the itch for some people.
Possibly. I don't know if the D-pad and the buttons are gonna be those clicky. They might be just for uniformity with their other product line, but they don't need to on this. With the TrimUI Smart, that little guy, it makes sense because it saves a lot of room. But
yeah.
But this, I mean, they don't need to. They could go with rubber membrane too on this.
And I gotta wonder, is this gonna be an OLED screen? It looks to me in this render more like an IPS, maybe a high contrast IPS like what we saw on the Retroid Pocket 3 Plus, maybe a reused iPhone 6 screen, in which case you can get those saturation colors built up. Russ did a video this week, or not a video, but he showed off in his community channel. Our friend Kay did a video actually showing that you can increase the saturation on the 3 and 3 Plus screen, which is really cool. So I'm sure that maybe you can do some tweaks here, but man, if they power this thing with a D900, that's going to be playing some PS2, some GameCube, some 3DS. I really hope they don't do the T618. Please don't do it. Yes, the 3 Plus is decent. It's a great handheld, but it gets capped hard early on into the GameCube library. early on into the PS2 library. You get 2D games, you get some RPGs, you don't really get much 3D and action performing. So I gotta beg, please, TrimUI, you got a good start here. Please give us a D900 at least.
But it's probably a 618.
Damn it, Damien. I was so excited. You hear my rant? It was passion filled. It was putting a Hail Mary to the universe, asking, please give us some power, some oomph. Classically, TrimUI does not do oomph. They make budget devices that are reasonably priced. So that's not the only thing, though, because they also revealed the TrimUI Smart Brick. This is their answer to the 35XX, and I'm guessing as well as a nod to both the RGB20S from Powkitty, the Miyoo Mini, and the 353V and VS. So I'm sure this is under $100. I'm sure it's running maybe a 3566, similar to what's in the GKD Mini Plus. If we're being optimistic,
that's a big ask for $100.
More than likely, it's going to be the TrimUI Smart's CPU used again in a vertical form factor, is my guess. A nice looking screen, though. Look at that bezel. There's no bezel.
Fine. I mean, there's no analog, so I mean, what are you going to do with that? So
I mean, look. I mean, this looks like an analog pocket screen. This looks nice. There's even a little bezel on the 35XX, as you know. This render looks like no bezel. I like the pop of blue they have on the side. I like the placement of. I don't know what this is.
Circles pointing that out.
I don't know. I don't know why the circles draw my attention. Like, if you didn't know, there's 2 buttons here. Let's circle them for you. I don't know who circled this. Good job. This came to us via our own Discord, actually. So we'll show off from KHZ90 and Professor Nate the Great. Thank you, guys. Come to our Discord if you want to see the latest, greatest devices. There is the freshest news happening in our other upcoming devices channel. That is the place to go. That's where these renders drop. It's a very catchy name. Other upcoming devices. We couldn't think of something better. What are you gonna do? I don't know.
No.
Anyways, the D-pad looks good. This looks like the exact same face buttons as the TrimUI Smart, TrimUI Pro that we just looked at. You have your standard start, select, and a menu button. Looks like you have one SD card slot. It looks like those back buttons are the same from the 351V. Just from looking at it, it's definitely not this style.
No.
Which no one's gonna cry about losing out on that. 351V had pretty decent back buttons. For me,
it did, especially with the L2 R2 being a little bit raised and towards the center.
I'd be okay with that. I'd be okay with that. This looks like a good budget option. That screen, if the screen's better than the TrimUI Smart, because my only thing with the TrimUI Smart is the screen blows ass. It's not good. It's like a TFT
triggers
screen.
Those triggers look a little bit more like the RG300, if you remember. If you got to pull back a little bit.
Yeah, you're right.
But it's a render, right? Like, so who knows?
It could be anything. But TrimUI is building up steam, and they're making better and better products. Their first model, which was released as the Powkitty A66, as well as also called the Model S, awesome little credit card sized handheld, very low powered, but it was see-through, it was cute, and there were some cool OS options for it. This I'm sure is going to get Tomato OS ported to it, which is a flavor on top of the stock OS built by the RG Handhelds crew. And we want to see Tomato. We want to see all the vegetables. Vegetable is the theme of operating systems right now. More on that in a minute. Let's move on, though. So Mr. Russ Crandall, Retro Game Core, reviewed the GKD Mini Plus and determined it, in my opinion, from watching this, from looking at it, from feeling it in my soul, to just be a giant pile of shit. And it's too much money. It has a closed operating system, and it has this attachment that is necessary to even get decent gaming on it. You gotta have it because it's just so uncomfortable to not have it. I like the little happy face it has, though. But he thought that, the build quality is pretty decent. The software is very all over the place. It's not complete. It's basically hacked version of Jealous that's been wonkified to make work on this experience here. And yeah, you can add in your own games. It was advertised to have Wi-Fi and supposedly do retro achievements, but it does neither of those things, actually. And there is no hope for the community to build their own custom firmware because of how locked down this is, unless somebody wants to accept the challenge. But so far, all the teams are saying, no, the dev is not being helpful, they're not being friendly, and we don't want to help make something for this. And you got to respect that, because, man, if the developer is not open to working with the community, as we see time and again, bad times.
Who is
Screen
this
looks
for?
nice. I mean, it's for people who loved the 280V and who loved the original GKD Mini, and I guess who enjoyed. I mean, what else is that size? We have the.
Well, I mean, the 280V has custom firmware to the point where it's perfected. Like, that device runs as good as it's possible.
Right.
There are no complaints about that for what it is. The Miyoo Mini's basically there as well, which, I mean, is smaller than this. They're both smaller than this, but it's in that realm, right? And I know it's kind of wonky to hold the thing without the attachment. And I know Russ mentioned that, like, ironically, like, the attachment makes the D-pad feel better because you have that extra grip, and then, like, but the analogs are kind of in a weird spot. But so it's the same as, like, the 353V, right? Like, the analogs are roughly
and
it's the same
CPU as the 353V, so it's the 3566 rock chip, and you
it's
know what
software.
that's going to do. But the software is going to hold you back on this pretty bad.
And nowhere to go with it. I think just like the previous GKDs, like, at least as far as this community's focused, this is probably the last time we'll talk about it.
Yeah, so I canceled my order personally. I watched this video today and already had a gut feeling about it, and I reached out to Keep Retro and I said, hey, I got to cancel my order. And they did charge me a $5 restocking fee, which I said, okay, that's fine. I don't want it. I don't want to review it. I don't want it. So I do have my GKD Classic, though, from the Indiegogo that will show up. That at least is an all-in-one. It's metal, and we'll talk more about it. But what Russ liked about it was the look and the feel, the size, the power ratio, decent buttons. The ergonomics were better when it was docked. Unfortunately, what I didn't like was it's pretty gimmicky, incomplete OS. There's broken features, not an entry-level device. This is over $100, mind you. This goes all the way up to like $120, $130. So for the price, it's just not a good deal, and especially for the fact that it's going to be so locked down and broken. All I like about it, I like the screen. Potentially, I like the buttons, but it's not for me, man.
Yeah, the hardware's probably fine, but what can you do with it, right?
I might have some different. I might find something redeemable once I get my Classic in hands, but I don't like this dockable one. I'd rather it just stay in one mode, because the dock to me doesn't look that attractive when it's attached. It looks kind of Kishi-esque. It's just not. If it was more flush, I might dig it, but I don't like how it attaches. So that's my. It's
weird, and I don't like it.
It's weird. It makes me uncomfortable. Make it go away. Okay.
I'm scared and confused.
I'm scared, alone, and confused. It's my dad mug. 35XX. Now, before we get to the awesome things, in Discord today, there was people who were buying them a lot. Like, one person bought like 6 or 7 35XXs and then compared the quality between all of them to see if there's any QA issues. And they found some inconsistencies. They found the D-pad was stiff on a few models. They found some light bleed on 1 or 2 of their models. We've had a number of these devices come through our doors now. So far, I haven't had issues myself. I know Raven noticed some minimal light bleed on his, but we just wanted to call that out and be transparent. Yes, we've seen some little things here and there. Part of me comes back to the fact that, well, it's such a low price point, and Anbernic is not going to ask you to send it back. Just tell them if it's busted, and they'll send you a replacement. Yeah. We need good handhelds that we can rely from manufacturers who are willing to not be buttholes. So,
and support their products, which is a big deal. That is very inconsistent in this hobby. Some are great.
Yes.
Some not so much.
No. I mean, Damien, have you had any issues with yours?
With the 35XX? The image that came on the SD card that it came with is kind of weird. Like for some reason, it really does not want to get copied. I think it might be partially corrupt. It runs fine on the handheld, but for just some reason, no matter what computer I attach to it, it does not want to read it. So
I never trust the SD cards. I never trust.
Yeah, but again,
the
that could
SD
be
cards.
the card too. It's free, comes with it.
Oh, it could easily be the partitioning too. But I'm just saying that the cards are not usually quality. That
no. We always say never use those. If you can
you can both save money by buying it without the SD card. It's not going to come with the free games, but trust me, the games that are going to come aren't games you want anyways.
You don't want a hacked version of Super Mario World in Chinese?
No.
So.
No, you don't. You do not. So save yourself some money. Provide your own SD cards. They're on sale on Amazon pretty much every day of the week. And
hardware's solid. Get
the cheapest version of this that you can, and then have fun with it. And if you get a bad one, demand that they replace it. That's the simple fact of the matter. If you get a bad electronic, replace it. And if they ask you to send it back, the shipping to send it back is not going to be worth it, and I highly doubt that they would ask that. Just send a picture or a video. So that's my spiel. Now on to awesome.
I do
parts.
have. Hold on. I do have one thing about the hardware. The screen protector it comes with. You are the only person I've seen actually put it on there and leave it there. I want us to all see this because it's kind of just the extra edges around.
There's extra edges. It's true.
Curved glass and stuff.
Yeah, I'm not bothered by it too much. A lot of people are. It should be more flush. Now, I've seen people looking on Amazon to try to find closer matches. Supposedly, buying the 353P screen protector should match this. Or the 353V. But I don't know. I'm fine. I know. There's a little bit of
free. It comes with it. This is funny.
Yeah. Well, you have to think about too that this doesn't have a touchscreen, and so you don't. Unless you have a kid playing with it, you might not need to put the screen protector on. Probably looks more attractive with it off.
I threw mine away. I didn't like it, but
you said no
it's
more.
Just, it comes with it, so I'm not going to really complain. I just thought it was funny when I put it on there. I was like,
I'm keeping it on.
Quite fit.
I'm keeping it on because I have kids, and they grab at the retro handhelds pretty often these days, and so I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to let life happen a little bit. So there's some new firmware options for this thing. Black Seraph, being the majestic, magical unicorn that he is, got RetroArch running as its standalone operating system on here. People already know this, but he has a new version out that has fixed some issues. It has optimized PlayStation 1, especially because PlayStation 1 was having some issues in his prior build, but now apparently it's flying with some big increases. That's really cool. People want their box art, though. So Seraph said, all right, if that's not going to work, I'm going to go in and make basically a copy of Onion OS. We're going to call it GarlicOS. And it's going to look like Onion OS. It's not going to be fully compatible theme-wise with Onion OS, but it's going to have that same look and feel. And so the fact that, this is a tongue-in-cheek naming thing, right? We have Onion OS, Tomato OS, and now GarlicOS. What's next? What were you say? Scallion OS? That's got to be the next one?
Scallion, leek. All the aromatics.
Just all the aromatic vegetables.
Ginger.
And so people are in our Discord, and this is a live conversation happening in public in our Discord in the 35XX channel. Come join in the fun. Pick yourself up the Anbernic roll when you join, though. Otherwise, you won't see it. But this is all happening. All the development for it is happening out in public, and Seraph is sharing a wealth of knowledge. It's really cool to see. It's great seeing. We have other people in there like Sean Inman, who is also working on a build called MiniUI. His famous MiniUI for the Miyoo Mini is going to be released on the 35XX. No timeline set for this yet, but he is working on it. And so it's cool seeing an Android developer, a Linux developer, kind of working together on two different operating systems. It's heartwarming to see, and they are saving this device's butt. Anbernic, you really need to thank these custom firmware devs, because this thing, without it, I don't know how much life it would have in it. But with these new options, I'm especially excited for Seraph's GarlicOS. there's a bright future ahead. So I think we're gonna see some awesome value in this thing.
Well, yeah, it's great to see these two bounce ideas off of each other, both working on two separate things. You've got Sean, who's working on this MinUI, which is going to be a great, simple Linux-based,
super fast, lightweight build. Yep.
You've got Black Seraph, who traditionally charges for the work that he does. Like, you know, he's the one who's done all the Android. Lineage OS, Android ports to different devices. He typically is an Android guy. Like 552 and all this stuff. He usually puts that behind his Patreon, but he said that not only is he doing this RetroGame port that he's done for the 35XX for free, he basically said, I mean, don't quote me on this could change, but he said if it's 35XX, he's not charging for it. So
yeah, because it's so low cost anyways that he wants to do this as a community service. Anbernic is not paying him for this. They may have asked for it, but he's just choosing to do this as sort of a Christmas present to the community for everyone who's supported him along the way. Now, he does need to run Android on the back end for his operating system if he wants to access the GPU, I heard. And once he can access to the GPU, because mind you, in the Linux version of this, the stock OS, there's a GPU in this, but it's not being used at all. At all.
I wonder what that's going to get us.
So if we get access to the GPU, Black Seraph unlocking the full potential of this, I mean, this is a chip, again, from 2013, that ATM chip in it. It's has more power than you would think. Other chips from 2013, the, what's that device you always talk about? The ZPG Pro?
ZPG, yeah.
The ZPG has a chip from 2013. I mean, it's a what is it?
Sony Xperia X1 Mini or something like that,
right? And that's a handy chip that does up to, I think, N64. So
yeah, I mean, it'll do some N64, it'll do some PSP. Yeah.
Is not that bad. Now, unlocking the GPU on this could really open things up. So we're excited to see what these custom firmware heroes bring. I couldn't do it. I'm glad someone out there is doing it. We'll keep reporting on it. Now, moving on into the world of the Steam Deck. I've loved the Steam Deck more and more as time goes on. I was very hesitant on the whole thing to begin with. Very hesitant. It's so big. Having spent time with it, I mean, it really is all-in-one device. It'll just pretty much do whatever you want. You can beat Elden Ring on it. You can play Atari 2600 for hours on it. Anywhere in between there. Now, for the Steam Deck 2, one thing people have said, I agree with, is that the battery life is not fantastic. Unless you're doing like 3-watt TDP Atari 2600.
It's better than I initially gave it credit for. I feel like an idiot for sleeping on the deck, considering how much I love Valve as a company.
Oh, so. I know. Well, it's just, I don't know. You know, for me, I moved away from Valve hardware after the Steam controller and the Steam machines started hitting the market. I'm like, I don't know, guys.
Fair.
I mean, the Steam Link was cool. I liked the little streaming box for my TV. And the controller was okay, but I couldn't get used to that haptic response joysticks that they had. Those were just odd to me. Now, they added those on the Steam Deck, and I still don't use them. But never mind that. Never mind that. Now, Valve is throwing massive shade on the 6800U handhelds. They're like, you know what? We could release a 6800U as our new chip for Steam Deck 2, but we're not going to. Instead, we're going to invest our money into making sure the battery life is much better and the screen is improved. I'm happy with that. I'm totally okay with that. Steam Deck is powerful enough as it is. The 6800U is not big enough of a jump for it to be worth it to Valve to invest in a whole new CPU, maybe for the Steam Deck 3. But it throws a bunch of shade at everyone who's releasing these 6800U handhelds, man. I don't know. What do you think? What's your thoughts? Give me your hot take.
Well, I mean, it's a hot take. It's not going to be that hot, especially considering that just like what you're going to do with it. Right. Like upgrading to that 6800U is going to not only probably eat your battery life even harder, but for the resolution of the device, for what it can do, I don't know if there's going to be that much to be gained for it, especially considering that they're trying to. I mean, they made this thing for $400.
This is all I want. Exactly. Yeah, that's all I want. Just give me the Steam Deck, but with a longer battery life.
Yeah.
With a better screen? Are you kidding me?
There's a few things that they should probably change. The touchpads.
It's already leagues ahead of every other handheld on the market. It's all the
by
chip it
far.
has in it now is already leagues ahead. It can play anything. Emulation beast, a literal emulation beast. And then you saw
it's the one handheld to end them all, right?
Yeah, and you saw like Linus Tech Tips, right? Is the Steam Deck already obsolete? With a sad face.
There's a rule stubs about articles or videos with a question in the title that's a yes or no. The answer is always no.
It's always no.
I don't know. It's not over, and it's definitely not obsolete. I mean, games getting released today are working just fine on this thing.
I have to imagine by the end of this video that Anthony just says, it's still good. We're still good because we are. The Steam Deck is not out of date, and it will not be out of date for at least a year. Is my thought. So
nope.
There it is.
The battery life equation is going to be a big deal. Like I said, the touchpads can probably go, and I don't think too many people will cry, which will help us in the spacing because that eats up a lot of space for that device.
Plus, well, optimizations too. Like we're going to get continued software optimizations as time goes on. We're going to make the most out of this chip. They should stay on this CPU. I mean, look at the 3326 line. By the end of that timeline, we had awesome software experiences happening on what should have been a one and done, forget about it garbage CPU. So, no, this is obviously in a whole other league, but it's not obsolete. It is good. It's good stuff.
I mean, if Valve makes a Steam Deck 2, I will probably buy it. I will not delay because I am a fan of the fact that they... I mean, look at that. You break your own Steam Deck. They're like, cool, you want some parts?
Here you go.
Real cheap? Right?
Well, the same thing with my Valve Index. They were great about it. I busted one of my controllers in half, and I showed it to them, and I said, hey, I broke this. And they're like, great, send it back to us. We'll give you a new one for free. It's like, really? But I broke it.
It's refreshing to have a company in this space that's like, we'll work with you. It's cool. Like, I think it's Gabe. I honestly think it's probably Gabe.
Gaben up there, just
I don't feel like they're trying to screw you over. Like they're just like, hey, we kind of have a monopoly on this platform, but there's a bunch of really good deals.
Gaben loves you.
Okay,
that should be a bumper sticker. Gaben loves you.
Gaben loves you.
He just sits and thinks about all of us at night. What a sweet
Every single
man.
one of us, all the time.
He
scrolls through Steam profiles all the time.
He does. He just scrolls through each one. He says, I love you, and I love you.
Damien, your account's 18 years old. Thank you, sir.
And Milk Walker, I love you.
Yeah, Milk Walker.
And so I don't think it's obsolete. I think it's awesome. No. I'm thinking it's more awesome all the time. Give us a better screen. Give us an OLED screen with a... Well, you know what? That's going to eat in the battery. Screw OLED screens. That's going to eat in the battery life. Screw that. Screw that.
1080p screen.
1080p. Yeah, 1080p screen. Because the current one's 800p. So give us 1080p. We'll go nuts. Well, what are we going to do? Well, no one's going to know what to do. We'll have such a good time. All right. Next part.
Moving on.
Damien and I, fun story, preface to this. We both lost power in a wild freak storm in the Pacific Northwest.
A lot of wind up here.
This week, a lot of wind. And so my lights, that's what I'm talking about, man. My haunted attic. See that? See that light? Just going crazy. That's enough out of you.
I mean, I got the same
enough out of you.
Same weirdo Amazon light here, and it's not doing it, so
it's nonsense. I gotta go fix that light. Can't make me go in a haunted attic. No way, no how. I own this house. I'm not afraid to go through a door. I just don't want to.
I think the gremlin upstairs disagrees.
No. Anyone who buys handhelds from me or gets handhelds from me, let me know if all of a sudden your house is all cursed and haunted or whatever, okay? Then maybe we'll have some proof. But as far as I know, we're all good. It's enough out of you, light. Okay, so we had a freak windstorm. And we lost power. I lost power for almost 12 hours. I was living in the dark ages. I had to go chop wood and put it into a wood-burning stove, a hearth, and keep the family warm, stay close together.
Full gorilla mode. He's just like, return to monkey. I don't need the internet.
I'm running into the living room, like, all right, here's my command center, you know. And I bring all my power banks.
I was kind of the same way, Stubbs. Like when the power went out, I was like, fire up the ham radio. Excuse me.
Yeah,
and I'm listening to the fire department and everything.
I'm in apocalypse mode. I'm like rationing out water, and I rationed out how long our hot water would last. Like, all right, everyone could take a 2-minute shower, and then our hot water tank will be empty. Because as far as we knew, it would be a multi-day outage. I've never had power out in my house for more than a few hours, but this was like 12 hours, and I was like, I used all my Shargeek power banks. This sentence was not sponsored by Shargeek, but they did come in handy. Hold on. You too can have power when your power goes out if you pick up the Shargeek Storm 2 at our affiliate link. It is very expensive, but this thing lasted 12 hours. It powered all of our devices. Look at the sizes of this honker. It's like 26,000, 30,000 milliamp hours. You can see through it. Look at this. So neat. So, had that. But eventually I'm like, I'm pretty sure the world is ending right now. And all I could think about was, I really got to get to those Miyoo Mini mods. So I hooked up my Haunted Light, and I huddled around it, and I started finally modding all of my Miyoo Minis at once. And nice. Here it is. I got the blue. I put some Sakura pink buttons in that one. I got the Sakura PlayStation build sticker and face buttons on this. A little double-sided tape will stop these ones from spinning around.
Sticker
little Sony
too.
Sticker, yep. Nice. Got the sticker on there. This one I actually busted. This was the first one I did, and I tore the ribbon cable because I had not watched any videos or how-to guides yet, and I didn't have internet because the cell towers were down as well for that time. So I was we were separate from the world, and I went on look and feel and intuition, and I only broke one of my 5 Miyoo Minis. So this will be on discount in the marketplace, in our patron-only Toy Barn marketplace for very cheap. If someone feels like we're swapping out the ribbon cable, I won't have time anytime soon. It comes with all these mods, though, so it looks fun. This video has been sponsored by Stubbs. I also made this one from RetroGame.Evo. This is a Link to the Past build with yellow nice. D-pad and kind of fun green buttons.
Very
satisfying. And a Triforce sticker on the back. I really like this one a lot. Also upgraded to the better speaker in a few of these. A standard Game Boy one. This one is just a sticker, so this is a Sakura sticker. No other changes made to it beyond the back. And then a little Nintendo Game Boy repair sticker. And a holographic foil look nice. Right there. So that's fun. This has an upgraded speaker too. And my favorite one, my ultimate build, which has... I didn't think this was going to be my favorite. This is also from RetroGame.Evo, and it's a galactic theme. So it has a galaxy sticker. I did some transparent see-through buttons for up top, and I did some purple indented matte buttons for below, a galactic multicolored D-pad, as well as start and select, and the middle button. And this one has a custom top button too. On the back, we have that holographic sticker. And yeah, I'll put links to all these because this build, it's quick and easy to do these if you follow instructions. Follow Russ's video for step-by-step instructions. This is the one on the screen right here. Watch this video because he walks you through how to put on these buttons, how to upgrade the speaker, how to upgrade these shoulder buttons. I tried the shoulder button mod myself, and it's really not for me. But it's nice if you want those. And yeah, the speaker upgrade is not too much of a upgrade in my opinion. It's such a barely... there's a little bit better high end, but it's not worth it.
I did one when I owned a Miyoo product, and it was like...
well,
I'm sure it's technically better, but... maybe if I was young, I could hear the difference.
Technically, the Redmi Note upgrade specifically is not better. I had one of those. It's not better. The other one, the Sony... I think it was a Sony Xperia. Yeah, the Sony Xperia speaker, that one has much better high end. So that's the one that I would recommend. The one Russ recommended as well. But whatever. Yeah, I put that in here. It sounds fine. But I love the look of this so much. I was going to just give this one away as part of the New Year's Eve giveaway. And I said, nope, I love this one the most. This is the one I'm going to keep. I'm going to give away one of these, though. One of these I'm going to give away during our giveaway. We'll talk about that next. But yeah, awesome. I'm really liking my Miyoo Mini. I can't wait till we get some more physical mod stuff for the 35XX, because this will be another fun device to swap out. There's already better back buttons like you see on the screen here with Russ. They make these now for the 353V line, and maybe even for this now. I think they're the same, but that'll be in our description as well. We just have our own we have our own discount code for that, so use the code RetroHandhelds for 10% off for better buttons. Lastly, New Year's Eve, join us in our Discord, where we will be with Russ from Retro Game Core, Rapid from our Game of the Month program, Thor and I, maybe Damien will drop by, any staff drop-ins may happen, and you two hop into our live stage. We're going to have a live podcast. We're going to talk about Game of the Year. We're going to give away 28 handhelds in total. 28 handhelds this year. Last year was, I think we did 10 last year. And the year before that, I think we did 5. So we are, this year 28 total. The biggest one being the Analog Pocket that Thor is putting in. I have a number of them. Anbernic put in 5 35XXs towards this as well. And then patrons, J Lash and Jade of the Bell threw into the pot, as well as the entire RH crew. So we have a bunch of devices to give away. Yeah, this will be fun, and we're just gonna chat and hang out and have a New Year's Eve party. So come join us in our Discord, and you do have to at least have played some games this year to get points to be in the raffle, or been a patron to get automatic free points. But there's still time to join the patron program or the premium Discord program. You got a day to join. Get yourself into that drawing, and just come hang out with us. We're going to open up the live stage. Come talk to us, and that'll be a lot of fun. So let's end the year strong, and in 2023, we're going to start it out by going to CES, covering the Consumer Electronics Show with Russ. We're going to have a bunch of stuff to say about that, and that'll be more to come. And we have just a bunch of cool things planned for 2023. So stay with us. Yeah. And Damien, do you have any final thoughts today? What are you feeling?
Oh, it's nice to finish off the year. We've had a very big growing up period this year as far as handhelds. It's like we ended last 2021, we ended 2021 with the Odin and the Steam Deck technically releasing, but they didn't really come out till this year. But it was a strong end of the year. We were like, where's this hobby going? It's getting expensive. There's these really high-powered devices, and it turned out to be cool. There was still a lot of stuff that in that really affordable price range, and things did not go in the direction I thought they would, which was kind of cool. We got the 353 options and a bunch of the different Anbernics, and there's just so many different things that came, and I'm kind of curious where next year's going to go. We've already got the Razer Edge that's going to be coming out in January. We've got the Pimax Portal, which I'm hoping the Portal.
I'm still excited for the Portal.
So
we'll see.
Let's release this year and look forward to the next. We will see you all tomorrow at our live event in Discord. Feel free to join.
Let's breathe in 2022's everything and then just let it go, everybody. 2023 is better. Even better. And we'll see you on New Year's Eve. Knock on wood. All right, everybody. Well, that'll wrap things up this week. Please do, once again, like, comment, and subscribe for your weekly recap of all your retro news. This has been Stubbs.
This is Damien.
And this has been RH Weekly. Take care of those dang handhelds, everybody, and each other.
Bye, everyone.